Randall.
An inmate at the Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Randall Via, and I'm currently serving 1,214 years in Red Onion State Prison for capital murder in Pound, Virginia, in the USA. This is my podcast, Red Onion Rain. I hope you enjoy listening to me today. Today, I'm going to talk about prison representation in media, through television, movies, print, so on and so forth. You know, I think this would be a good topic, so let's do this. Now, as everybody knows, I've pretty much been in prison my entire life. And about the only movie that I have ever seen that somewhat represents prison in its entirety would be Shawshank Redemption with Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins. That was actually a pretty accurate portrayal. Now, there is one thing about the film that was complete and utter BS. All right. If you remember the tunnel that Tim Robbins' character dug through the wall to escape. Now, this is the thing. If you go back and you look at the early in the movie when you see him first go into a cell, you'll see there's a cell on both sides of his cell. He wasn't on the end cell. So that wall was only 6 inches of concrete, reinforced with rebar. But yet, if you go to the escape scene, that damn tunnel is like 8 feet long. Now, how in the hell does it go from a 6-inch concrete wall to an 8-foot tunnel? Like, it's impossible. Like, that's the only thing about that movie that just was complete and utter BS. But outside of that, though, the movie is pretty damn accurate, you know. Depending on the way the prison is built, the way the prison is set up, if you have the rec yard right there, where you've got the receiving and diagnostic center, not diagnostic, damn it, the receiving and discharge center, excuse me. When you have that right there next to the rec yard and you got new guys come in, oh, absolutely, man. You got half the yard go running over there, lining up on the fence and start talking trash to dudes. Or if they see a homeboy, oh, man, what's going on, man? You know, they showing love and respect and everything. Or they just, you know, they talking trash, new fish, I'm going to you, I'm going to do this. And, you know, you're going to be my bitch, all that stuff. You know, just that's what dudes in here do. They just talk trash. They run their mouth. So you have that. Like, that's pretty accurate. And then, you know, when you go in, they strip you down, but you no longer have to take a shower when you come into prison. They don't throw lye on you or anything like that. I've never seen that. I've never even heard of that. But you do come in, and that's when you get your clothes, you get your, you know, your laundry, you get sheets, you get your mattress, your pillowcase, you get 2 totes, you know, to store your property in. You get underwear, socks, shoes, T-shirts, towels, washcloths, that kind of thing. They'll give you a little bag of state hygiene until you can go to commissary and buy your own. We call that an energy package here in prison. But that is pretty accurate. You know, when you come into the pod, if you go back and you look at that movie and you see the fear on their faces, you see the uncertainty, that man, what the hell did I get myself into? That's as accurate a portrayal of what it looks like when you first walk into prison for the very first time. Like, that's exactly what it looks like. That's exactly what it feels like. You feel like you're on an island by yourself and the whole world is watching you. The whole world is just tuned into you. It's a crazy feeling. It's scary. It's somewhat exhilarating. And it literally makes you want to piss in your pants. And then you go into that cell. And yeah, you have some dudes, just like the fat dude in there. He started breaking down. He started rattling the bars. You know, he's I'm not supposed to be in here. I want my mommy, man. And he start crying. Like, that doesn't happen all the time, but you have some dudes, man, that when they get put in this situation, man, when they get put in this environment, they literally snap. They literally break. Yeah, you'll have some dudes who'll be concerned for the guy. You'll have some dudes who call out to him, yo, man, just calm down, man. It's going to be okay, man. I got you. I'm going to help you, blah, blah, blah. And then you got some dudes that are going to laugh. Some dudes, you know, they're going to try to talk you into committing suicide. They're just going to pile onto it, man. It just depends on how emotionally mature the people around you are going to be. Some will help you. Some will try to push you over the edge because it's entertainment value to them. Then, yeah, you always have them couple of dudes, just like Red, you know, Morgan Freeman's character. they have access, they have connections, they have a little bit of money, so they can get things in prison that most people cannot, whether it's drugs, whether it's stuff that you ain't supposed to have. Cell phones are the big thing nowadays, and so on and so forth. They can get you watches that you can't buy off commissary, or they can get you a certain style of shoe or some clothes or, some food or whatever. Like, there's things in here that you ain't supposed to have, but if you know the right dude and you can pay him, you gonna get what you want. It's big business in here. And then you got guys that just like I can't remember what their names were, but you had the three white dudes that were raping Andy. In fact, yeah, that's Tim Robbins' name, and the character's name in the movie was Andy. Like, that happens. There was this group of dudes way back in the day, back in the 80s and the 90s, and a little bit into the 2000s, dude named Bo Billy, dude named Doc Holliday, and, there's like 4 or 5 other guys, big guys too. They would run around, and, they would attack little white dudes in the cell. They would beat them up, and they would rape. Like, you actually have gangs in prison that do those types of things. So like, Shawshank Redemption is a really, really accurate portrayal for the most part, other than the damn escape scene, because that's complete and utter BS. First of all, you're not going to have a pipe that damn big in the prison system. No, it's just not going to happen. And you're not going to have access to it from the back of the cell. Just that right there, yeah, they really screwed the pooch on that. But other than that, man, Shawshank Redemption is the most accurate portrayal of prison that I've ever seen. Now, I haven't had a chance to watch Orange is the New Black. I haven't had a chance to watch that show called Oz. Now, I've never actually watched a television show that was just all about prison. I've seen shows that have little prison scenes in them, and, for the most part, it's completely inaccurate. It's completely false. It's like there's this show that came on back in the day. I believe it came on USA called Monk. And it's about this dude. He was really, really smart, I guess kind of autistic or whatnot. But he was a detective in the show, and it was actually a good show. I actually enjoyed watching it. And he would go to this jail sometime to get information from this guy. And I guess this big black guy was, I guess he was like a kingpin or something. So he had this cell specially made in the middle of the jail, to where it had bars on all 4 sides. The whole cell was just made out of nothing but prison bars. And he had like a big screen TV, a refrigerator, a bed, a couch. He had these females were in there living with him, massaging him, giving him manicures and all that stuff. Hell no. Hell no. In the U.S., that will never, ever, ever happen. I don't care how much money you have. You could literally be the richest person in the world and have the most corrupt warden in the world, and you will still never get stuff like that. Oh, you'll get some pretty cool stuff, but you ain't going to get stuff like that. It ain't going to happen. So I would probably say 90% of everything that you're going to see on a television screen or read in a book about prison is false, because they're just exaggerating what happens in here. Maybe someday, once I get out, I can hook up with a good writer. Maybe I'll actually write either a movie or a television show of what prison is really like. Because let me tell you something. You don't need fantasy. You don't need fiction when it comes to prison, because there's so much stuff in here. Look, I've told this to several guys in here. If they could get a film crew in here to film us in prison, and guys would just be who they are. They wouldn't put on a show, put on a front because the cameras are there. Or if you could somehow just get invisible cameras in here to follow us around, we would have the #1 television show in the world. We would have the greatest reality TV show in the world. Because, there's so many characters in here. There's so much stuff that jumps off in here that, guaranteed, man, you don't need to fake it. You don't need to add to it. Prison is real. It would blow people away at what prison is really like if we could actually portray it for real. So maybe someday, once I get out and, like I said before, I want to go into Hollywood. I want to go into acting. I want to do my own writing of movie scripts and everything. I have an incredible imagination. I have tons of creativity. It's just when it comes to sitting down and actually doing the writing, man, I really struggle with the writing part. I'm good at it, but it just takes me forever because I really, really suffer from ADD, so it's really hard for me to focus and concentrate and to get this stuff done. So if I could hook up with someone who has the technical ability to write, the technical skills in writing, and they're really good at that, but they don't really have the imagination and creativity, and we can work together as a team, I'm telling y'all, man, I could come up with something that would just dominate the airwaves based off of just real life stuff I've seen and gone through and experienced here in prison. But like I said, I've heard that Oz is pretty real, it's pretty raw. I don't know, though. I've never had a chance to see it. But from the stuff I have seen, and I don't even remember the names of most of the stuff. Otherwise, I would actually give them to y'all. But 18 and a half years of solitary, man, has screwed my memory up pretty big. As far as documentaries go, I've never really seen prison documentaries before because we only get 15 television channels. And they usually play the same television shows over and over and over again. Supernatural, Law and Order, NCIS. That's pretty much the only shows they play over and over. Or they play the same movies over and over again. So like I said, I haven't really had a chance to watch, a lot of stuff on prison. I haven't seen no document. I haven't even seen my own documentary, Solitary: A Look Inside Red Onion State Prison. They said they was going to play it, but they never did play it. Because they didn't like how it turned out. They really expected us to go on there and give it a 5-star rating and, encourage you to come up here. Go break the law so you can come spend time at Red Onion. I mean, they really, really expected us to do that, but obviously we didn't do it. I damn sure didn't do it. I told it like it is. But, I've never really had a chance to watch any other prison documentaries or so on and so forth. My experience with prison comes from just simply having to be in prison. That's it, Shawshank Redemption is pretty much the closest thing I've ever seen to what prison is really, really like. I hope you enjoyed listening to me today. For those of you who listen to me on Apple Podcasts, I'd appreciate it if you would review me and rate me, preferably 5 stars, but I'll take whatever you give me, whatever you think I'm worth. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you for using GTL.